Dzień dobry, nazywam się Sławomir Gzell.
Good morning, my name is Sławomir
I chciałbym
Gzell.
zaprezentować Państwu swój tekst, który
And the
nazwany jest
paper
Logika
I would like to present
Manifestów
is entitled The Logic of Architectural Manifestos.
Tak jak się zorientowałem z
As
tego,
I
co organizatorzy mi mówili,
understood
będzie gdzieś na
from
początku
the message
konferencji. Wydaje
from
mi
the
się, że to
organizers
jest
is
dobra
given at
lokalizacja,
the very
dlatego, że
start of the
zanim
conference, and I think
zaczniemy
this is
rozmawiać
the
o
right
architekturze tej
spot.
zbudowanej, twardej,
Because before we move on to
pełnej
debating
rozmaitych
the
niuansów,
architecture
które mówią
in
prawdę
its
albo
hard
kłamią,
version,
tak
full
jak
of nuances,
tytuł mówi,
that's
to dobrze jest na początku
tells
zastanowić
the
się
truth.
nad rozmaitymi
I
zapisami,
think we should
które się
start by
pojawiają, zanim
analyzing
zaczniemy
certain
architekturę
concepts
projektować.
that emerge before we move on to
Bardzo
designing.
często są
And
owe
quite
manifesty
often,
architektoniczne.
there are manifestos, architectural manifestos that describe literature. In the milieu of architects, it is quite popular, and by nature, that should be a spiritual concept and refer to the future, but the starting point should be the actual concept of the start. Let me just remind you the Communist Manifesto by Karl Marx. He said a spectre is hunting Europe, the spectre of communism. And that means that any prophetic text that should be based on robust and sound foundations, and unfortunately, this is what is often missing. A manifesto in architect's life plays the following role. In the second edition of his book Theories and Manifestos of Contemporary Architecture, Charles Jenks, with Karl Knopf as the second editor, at the very start of his introduction, is wondering and considering the reason for writing manifestos by architects and politicians, and he finds two answers. The first reason for it is to forecast and foretell the change of what is presented around us as a foreseeable event, and then he claims that the manifesto has a special form as a book to contain suspense, as a limerick. And secondly, a manifesto is a variation of an announcement about one's own being as an architect would like to be known not only for his or her works, but we've known similar cases and different cases. So manifestos should lead to building a theory that is going to help in building and creating new buildings. But unfortunately, nowadays, manifestos and architectural theories seem more to correspond with ideas globally instead of initiating and triggering new concepts. However, we should be expecting the manifestos that announce the opening of a new era in cities. And when we speak about the beauty and about new cities, they encounter with ironic comments. In the book by Jenks and Kropf, quotes from approximately 150 architects are given, and manifestos of masters of architecture dating back to the turn of the 20th and the 20th century. They focus on certain phenomena, and that could boil down to the following ideas. So first, manifestos, they suggest that the existing forms are repeatable, but they also suggest that new variations of these forms are created. In their manifestos, creators, they agree to experimenting, but it's not in their search for architectural beauty, but for a variety of other reasons. Then, manifestos speak about the need to introduce order into urban space, and that is right. And they also speak about self-restriction, same limitations, so limiting the quantity, the volume, directing towards environmental efficiency, using dialogue as a method in designing or even inventing the best architecture possible. Now the question is whether the authors of these manifestos follow the guidelines given by Jenks and Kropf, whether they use these examples as models. I'm saying about it because it hasn't been the case. Like in 1986, the Nordic section of the UIA prepared their appeal for architecture and peace. And that appeal has all the characteristic features of a manifesto because it was also accompanied by a declaration, Architects Against Nuclear Weapons and for Peace. And here we should proceed with caution. To what extent we follow that conclusion. Actually, I revised a whole series of manifestos prepared on the occasion of International Venice Biennale, Venice exhibitions, and the title of one of these exhibitions was out there, and that was the Biennale of 2008, and those who would like to translate that title into Polish, they understand right away that the director of the Biennale, he gave this very difficult task to architects to present architecture without saying anything about architecture. So this is a follow-up of these ideas that a building is a grave of architecture. And so the architecture here would be the aroma of morning coffee, or the aroma and all the smells that an architect feels when going to work. But in the case of this Venice Biennale, here specifically, that was a quote from someone who was engaged in organizing a world-famous exhibition of architecture, and those who participated didn't know the addressees, the recipients. Without that, the exhibition became a Bible tower without that confusion of languages. So that mutual intellectual mismatch of participants of the Biennale and the exhibition was reminding of a cartoon made of advertising boards and advertising panels. Since the participants wanted to catch up with Director Betsky in their contributions and presentations, as a result, we could see and observe this weird and unusual language of architectural descriptions at the exhibition. And creators and those who presented the work, they spoke as if they were at the higher level of the architectural engagement and mystery. So it was there as if they were climbing this ladder towards the upper steps with the inscription art. But perhaps for this reason, manifestos of the creators there accompanied the installations, except one were unreadable and incomprehensible. It was a complex, horrible, barbarian style presentation of intellect. It was that had nothing to do with the other texts that were presented in on the other opportunities in that century. And it wasn't also comprehensible and easy to understand. And actually, in these manifestos that I'm showing, there are in the book, were hardly any refers to a specific concept or contains a specific thought they are artificial with artificial and weird style.
Instalację w 2008 roku. Otóż Lin na końcu dłuższej tyrady bez ogródek napisał: jest nieodpowiedzialnością nie skupiać się w czasie biennale na budynkach. Jest skandaliczne promowanie tak zwanej sztuki architektury. Żyjemy tylko dziś i nie manifesty są potrzebne,
so-called art of architecture is promoted here. Instead of a quarter of fame, architecture should think how a car should be operated. But unfortunately, at exhibitions other than Venice, Biennale show that the words of that comment from that comment could be used for dozens of cases. But manifestos can be also written in a different way, with an attempt to offer a broader rationale. So in 2016, in one of the magazines, our manifesto was published. Our, meaning that it was published by the former mayor of the city of Wrocław in Poland, who was an entrepreneur and mathematician and an architect, and the curator of the European Capital of Culture. For some reason, I don't understand, the authors apologize for using the word manifesto, and here they give the rationale for it. Yes, the city should be based on a public transport and reasonable to maintain. Yes, there should be more apartments. The apartments should be larger, and there should be public generally available. We need more public space. We need good density of the city. We need more and improved indirect space, then we need to marry culture and nature. And the manifesto is formulated as a message or communication. And this is about summary of these concepts, and the manifesto summarized these texts of the architects that I mentioned, but unfortunately this text mixes and mingles some concepts with some ungrounded assumptions. So during the pandemic, all of a sudden it turned out that apartments, that flats were too small and insufficient, and all of a sudden the authors discovered that that came as a result of lack of credit worthiness of their residents, of their inhabitants, who couldn't afford to buy larger flats. But we do notice such dependencies at the stage of university studies. We speak about certain aspects. We explain what are the reasons for such design of flats and living space, and such lacks translate into that very general comment that flats should be generally available. We should remember and bear in mind that flats, it's not a commodity. This is a right. So as we read in the manifesto, well, there should be there are certain concepts in these manifestos that the authors claim that the flat should be available as the air is, and it should be financially accessible. But there are certain items that do not translate into the quality of life. But we have the cost of land purchase, cost of underground parking, we have marble from China, we have other costs of, and then here if we add construction on the city land in the city center which is not used because of its poor quality, then costs drop by
wielkimi przestrzeniami wspólnymi za to bez garaży.
And then the authors of the manifesto, they offer such a mechanism. The local government first offers free of charge a piece of land which cannot be used by investors, but the investors build large apartments with terraces on roofs anyway, and with huge common areas but without garages, and people move in. The investor receives rent for 30 years towards the operation and return of the cost, and the process starts anew. So, what about the cost of large flats in the outskirts when compared to the cost of small flats in city centers? Would everyone be interested in living squeezed in small flats, in small buildings with many apartments in the same level, on the same floor? So my question goes to the authors. Do they promote large flats or do they promote small flats? And then, following up, during the pandemic, one often feels safer when using one's own car, and when one doesn't use the public transport, even when one can travel with one's bike on the public transport. So the manifesto can be end with the following observation. Well, I wish that one of the manifesto's author, who had been the mayor of Wrocław for 16 years, at last, after he left the office, could finally realize the benefits of an open and friendly city. So this is an ironic constatation. Well, I think that we should speak with full awareness of our point in time and of our reality. The question is whether always what we write as a manifesto in a newspaper is consistent with what we have in life. And 2 weeks after that manifesto was published in the newspaper, an advertising started in the same newspaper about innovative residential settlement, and that was authored by the architect who was also the creator and writer of that manifest. And it was about a large residential building with a courtyard inside, and that was about the residents having full integration with the constant presence of neighbors, increasing the safety of the environment. And this concept and this description is quite similar to praises that was made about a Russian or Soviet style communal house dating back to 1930. So the planned flats were to have a size of approximately 42 square meters. Half of them would have a tiny room and a bathroom and a kitchen closet in the hall. Some of them would have a mini loggia or mini balcony. So everything in that building illustrates all the cases that the author of the manifesto warns against. The prototype and perhaps the model to follow is the concept here, but the authors of the manifest write about the idiotic concepts of micro flats. But let me add that in Warsaw, in the capital of Poland, such tiny microscopic flats, they sell like hot cake. Then I mentioned in my paper the reason or the way in which the inexpensive land for residential development is generated. I refer you to a book describing such procedures in Warsaw. And one of the developers and architects, he writes about the popular residential area in the outskirts of Warsaw, which is called Białowęka. Białowęka is the area that should not be developed, but that area, Białowęka in Warsaw, was developed because it was not fit for residential purposes, and something which is not fit for residential purposes is less expensive for residential purposes for all those who have access to such land. So let me conclude. It's important to consult your manifestos before you publish them. If we believe that once we write a manifesto, everything will be green and beautiful, well, that is not the truth. It doesn't work like that, especially when we calculate the density and spreading of cities. And such way and train of thought can only be noticed when in action and in reality, although it goes against the words of manifesto, and I strongly warn you against it. Thank you very much, and that's all from me.